Hello. I'm gonna open some packs. And I'll talk about the cards when I open them in the packs. That's the video. I like the design of the card. Look at that. It's like a book. It's got very angular features. I think this is my favorite design of this. I will have to physically drag each of these to the thing, because if I press the space bar, it'll open the golden ones. We gotta save those to the end. You know, it's the big event. Alright. So, we got Wolpertinger, which is a good card. It's better alley cat. I don't know if you'll build a deck around this, but Hunters probably just, one drops. Nature Studies. I mean, it basically slots into every Druid deck. It's so good. It's good with Kael'thas. It's good with Mount Seller. It's good with, you play it on 1, and then you can coin your Overgrowth on 3, or with 3 mana. Very good card. Volpera Toxin Blade, I mean, it's got good stats. You know, it curves. You 2, press the hero power, 3, have this, and then you have a Fiery War Axe. I don't know if that's good enough. It probably is, but I don't know. Let me think about that. Weapon has 2 attack. It's a bit like what, SI7? It's like deal 2. Is it good or not? I think it's good. I don't know if it's amazing, but I think this will see play. In most rogue decks, I don't see why rogue decks wouldn't run this. You know, on 5 it's a 3/3 plus a Fiery War Axe, which is fair. 2 mana Fiery War Axe, the old version, and a 3/3 for 3. And if you can stick around, I guess the weakness is if it's killed, then your weapon goes back. But I think this card is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Groundskeeper, great defensive tool. Not sure if it'll see play anywhere. I mean, it's better than, it's a better, what's that card from Witchwood? Ron Applebaum. It's, 4 mana 4/5 taunt is just Yeti with taunt, which is pretty good. I don't know if Shaman or Druid are gonna be trying to do this, because Druid seems to be either the spell variety or the very minion-based variety. I don't know if they want to mix the two. Although maybe you'd run this in Survival of the Fittest, just as an anti-aggro tool. Because that's a spell that costs 5 or more, isn't it? And Shaman, if there's a control Shaman around, it'll probably see playing that. But Shaman already has a lot of healing, so, it's got, is this better than just a Witch's Brew? So, I'm not counting on this seeing play. And then, Mage Scribe, I don't know, it seems like filler. I don't know where you would run this. Maybe a dragon deck that likes spells, but the dragon deck that likes spells right now is the Cyclone Dragon deck with Malygos and Azure Drake, but this is too much mana for that deck, so 2 random spells isn't that good. I don't know why you would play this. Star ratings. This is, it's 4 stars. It's good, but it's not going to see play in every deck. Probably 5 stars. This goes in every Druid deck. 3 stars will probably be pretty good. Groundskeeper, 2 stars. I don't like, it's in 2 decks that have a lot of life gain already, so you probably don't need this. And Onyx Mage Scribe, 1 star. Alright. Ogremancer. Macy playing aggressive Highlander decks, but it's not even aggressive, it's comes in with taunt. Might see playing Highlander decks. There's just no point in running this. It's just a tech card. Maybe. I mean, let's see, it's a 3/7, that's like 1 health off being good stats. Or like 1 attack off being good stats, and then if your opponent casts a spell, it's like +2/+2, which is good. I mean, even if, you know, the Mage Cyclone decks are huge, like, they don't really care about 2/2 skeletons. It's a tech card, and I don't think it's a very good tech card. First Day of School, excellent card. 5 stars. Wave of Apathy. Might see playing a Control Priest with that new Cabal card with the Spell Burst. The Stegodon with Spell Burst, take control of a random enemy with -2 health, or lower than 2 health. Might see playing that deck. There's just no point in doing it in Paladin, unless there's some sort of combo Paladin that comes around later, like a Shirvala type, or a Death Knight, in Paladin. Because it's almost like Timeout, or Frost Nova, but I don't know. They're just better defensive tools, I think. I think you'd rather kill the things than you'd rather consecrate them, or ruin, or Shadowwood Ruin, or Shadowwood Death, than just set it to 1. So probably 2 stars. Ogremancer was 1 star. Soul Shear. Yeah. It's good. It's penance, but delayed. In trade for being delayed, it's 1 more health. In decks that really care about healing. I think the Soul Fragments will be pretty good. I don't know if they'll be like tier 1, but they'll definitely see a good amount of play at the beginning at least, and then I don't know. I'm counting on I'm liking mid-range Demon Hunter with the Soul Fragments, because there's been a lot of mid-range tools recently in Demon Hunter, like the 8 mana card with Rush. I can't remember its name, but it's like 8 mana 9/5 with Death Rattle, summon a 5/9 taunt. That's a really good mid-range card, like end game, mid game. And I think these Soul Fragment cards, they fit well in a mid-range Demon Hunter. Don't know how they fit in Warlock. I mean, you'd want to play Control Warlock, but the reward cards aren't very control-y. So maybe there'll be a mid-range Warlock as well, but it just doesn't fit together for me. You'll see the other. I'll probably open the Warlock, the one of the specific Warlock Soul Fragment cards, and we'll talk about it then. Steward of Scrolls. I mean, why? I just don't know why you'd run this. You want cheap spell damage cards, so you can play them on the same turn as your spell, and this is not cheap. So, I don't know. It's very similar to Azure Drake. Could see play in a deck I was thinking of where the Elemental with Elemental Allies, Tempo Mage. Could see playing that, since we are hurting for elementals right about now, since Angoro has rotated. So maybe I'll give it 2 stars. Soul Shear, 4 stars. Legendary. Speaker Gildra. Yeah, it's a good card. I mean, I don't know if it's like exceptional, but it's definitely gonna see someplace somewhere. The Druid Shaman cards are really, like, you don't know where to put, I guess control decks, but maybe he's playing in Big and Druid, since it's just a good thing to buff, like in Big and Survival of the Fittest Druid, because it's good to buff. Although that deck doesn't run a ton of spells, so, you know, bad synergy if you draw it. I put it in my Token Druid, just because that deck runs a lot of spells because of Garden Gnome, and it's good to buff later. Good removal, does a lot of things instantly, but I don't know. I think it comes down, let's see, if you play it on 5, you get a 3-6 with Taunt. I mean, it's 3-6 with Rush from Free. That's pretty good. I'll give it 4 stars. Wand Maker. Adding 1 cost, spell from class to your hand. So, might see play in Demon Hunter, since all the 1 cost spells are really good. Very small chance it'll see play in Tempo Mage, since it likes cheapo spells, but unlikely. I'll give it 2 stars. Marrow Slicer. I like this card. I think this card is very good in Tempo, not Tempo, because Tempo is bad with Soul Fragments. I think it's very good in mid-range Soul Fragment Demon Hunter. That's the first deck I'm going to be playing, since I tried to make a mid-range Demon Hunter in previous times, but I think this really increases the power level. These Soul Fragment cards, as they're very high in tempo, but you kind of need to wait for it. It's very interesting whether, because Skull of Gul'dan, I guess I'll talk about Tempo Demon Hunter when I play it, but I have some thoughts on that. Dwarven Infestation, yeah. Good card. 5 stars. Just really good. It's a 1 mana 2/2 that adds a 1/1 to your hand. Sure. That's actually not that good now that I say it out loud. But Druid likes cheap spells, Hunter likes beasts, so we'll definitely see play. It's probably on the same level as Firefly, which isn't an insane card, but definitely sees play in a lot of places. So probably 4 stars now that I think about it again. Yeah, 5-star card. That card's really, really good. Hello? Uh-oh. We're back. New pack. Shield of Honor? I don't think it's very good. Definitely not good in Paladin, since they have no way to consistently damage their own minions. Macy playing Warrior, but Warrior has Rampage already. I don't know if this makes the cut. Because, I mean, it's just a Blessing of Might that gives it Divine Shield. And is Divine Shield worth that much? Especially when you're dealing 1 damage to all your things consistently in Warrior? I don't think so. 2-star card. Lake Thresher. Also damage minions next to whoever this attacks. So this is supposed to be synergy with a card we'll see later, which is Guardian Animals, or whatever it's called. Cave Hydra for 5 mana with double the attack and 2 health more for 3 extra mana. I don't know. I don't think that deck, I don't think Guardian Animals is that good. I don't know. It could be good. Because if you ramp into it, it's good. But is that consistent enough? I don't know. It's good to buff with the Embiggens and Survival of the Fittest of the world. It's a very good card against board-based deck, especially if you get Rush. Oh no, this card is very good when you give it Rush. That might increase the power level of the Guardian Animals. Druid. Not Hunter, because Hunter's never gonna... because Hunter doesn't have that one card. That's it. Whatever, we'll get to it. I don't think it sees play, and I think it sees play in that Druid, and I think that Druid's, now that I think about it again, pretty good. I think the dragon one is going to be better, but this could see a good amount of play, and this could be better. So I'll give it 3 stars. Very limited in its scope as well. Judicious Junior. 6 mana, 5/9 lifesteal. Well, that's some premium stats and a premium keyword. Good if you summon it off of the dual paladin, archetype. Just cheapo big stats. I don't know, in a very aggressive meta, I could see it being played, but then you might as well just run the dragon, 5 mana, 4/6, heal for 8. Can't remember his name, but is this much better than that? Probably not. It doesn't do anything immediately. It'll probably be put in the dual paladin. Although, I don't know. It's not that big. It's only 6 mana. I mean, it's good with the other card that we'll see. The 7 mana. Give a minion... Some minion from your deck, give it Taunt Life... Give it Taunt Divine Shield, which I think is good, but... is this big enough to be put in... Yeah, it's too big to be put in tempo decks, and it's not big enough to be put in control decks. Or the dual paladin. If there's a control paladin, this will probably go in it, but I don't think there will be. So this gets 2 stars. Gift of Luminance. Give a minion Divided Shield, then summon a 1/1 copy of it. I don't like this card. I don't think it's very good. It's definitely better in Priest, because they have death rattles they care about. And certain effects they care about. But it's Hand of Protection plus Argent Squire most of the time, which is not good. So I'm gonna say maybe 2.5 stars. It's maybe 2 stars for Paladin, 3 stars for Priest. Might see play in Res Priest. Boom. That's 40 dust. Soul Shard Lapidary. Good card. I'm gonna put it in my mid-range Soul Fragment deck. 5 mana, 5/5. Deal 5. Yeah. I mean, we have overestimated 5 mana, 5/5 deal 5s in the past with Cumulo Maximus, which saw no play, and people were very hyped about that card. But I think Demon Hunter is more aggressive than Shaman right now. Cares about attack more when it has weapons, and good combo with the card. What is it? The card that was just nerfed. 6 mana, 3/4. You can attack. After you attack a minion, you can attack another time. Good with that. I think it's good. 4 stars. Web of Apathy, Overmancer. Goody 2 shields. I think it's good. I think it's very good. Paladins with the Librams, as well as, the Hand of Adals, Consecrations, Blessing of Mights. Blessing of Kings on 4. Yeah, I think it'll see play. Definitely a pure Paladin. I'm counting on there being a not pure tempo Paladin, because I think that the pure Paladin cards aren't good enough. Especially the 7 mana 7/7, because that is not tempo at all, and we have a lot of tempo tools, which we'll see later with Authority. Blessing of Authority. Wretched Tutor. May see play in Highlander Priest. Oh yeah, this card is 4 stars. May see play in Highlander Priest. I think that's about it. I don't see... I mean, honestly, Priest has enough board clears already, so... Where would it really see play? Just run a board clear. I mean, Rogue doesn't have board clears, so maybe if there's a control Rogue, gets put in there. Are there any other... Hunter? But, like, the classes with no board clears are the tempo classes, so... just run a board clear, honestly. 1.5 stars. There it is. Guardian Animals. I think the Druid deck is going to be good. I don't know how consistent it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be a bitch to play against. Especially if you, boom, Lightning Bloom it out. Play it on 5, that's a lot of tempo. Especially when you summon Taunts and the Threshadon or whatever it was called that damages adjacent minions. A lot of tempo. I think these two cards are good. But I don't know how consistent. Like, is this good enough to build around? I think this will get 3 stars and this will get 4 stars. Lightning Bloom. I think... Is Lightning Bloom 5 stars? 4.5 stars. I'll give it 4.5 stars. Because I think it's better than a lot of cards, but I don't think it's 5 star. I don't think it'll see play in every... Because it's still like... You know, old school Innervate wasn't running every Druid deck. It was running a lot of them, but... You know, this is a worse old Innervate, which wasn't, you know, insane. But I think it is still good in the current meta of Druids trying to cheat things out. In Shaman, I have no idea what you use this card for. It doesn't... I don't... But Druids definitely will use it. Smug Senior. I mean, it's a good defensive card, but there are probably better defensive cards. I think all these ghost cards are arena cards, except for maybe the stealth one. But might see play in if Taunt Warrior, as you can see over here. Taunt Warrior, Taunt buff, you know, into the Fray Warrior. Sees play, but I don't think it will, so... 2 stars. Information, 1 star. I don't think you even put it in Taunt Warrior. 2 random Taunt minions. There are some really bad Taunt minions in the classic and basic set. So I think this card is always limited by that. Tour Guide. This is a good card. Standouts: Paladin. It's Lost in the Jungle. In Warlock, it's Kobold Librarian, but slightly worse. You know, -1 attack, and you can't hero power and play it. So, slightly worse than one of the strongest cards ever. Makes it an alright card. Maybe in Totem Shaman. You can get that Totem early. Or get a 1-mana Totem. I think this card is good. Yeah, also Face Hunter. If you want to just press that button turn 1, and then turn 2, and then turn 3, you can do it now. You don't have to even coin hero power anymore. I'm gonna be bold and say this is 5 stars, because I think it's broad enough in its scope that it'll see play in a good amount of decks. Demon Companion. I don't think this card's very good. Just run Blazing Battle Mage, because Fake Leok is bad on 1, and 1-mana cards you really want to be able to play on turn 1. We have seen a lot of cards that seem very good for 1, but you can't play them on turn 1, which means they're bad. Like the Potion Vendor. people thought it would see play, and it didn't, because you really want to play 1-mana cards. It's just not enough value to play 1-mana card on turn 4 and hero power with it. You'd rather play a 3-mana card. That's a 3/3. I don't think this card, I think this card will get cut from a lot of decks. I think, however, it is good in Face Hunter, because it can give a charge minion. That's it. And it's sometimes a 1-mana 2/2, and sometimes you cry when you get Leok, turn 1. But I think it's good in Face Hunter, which I'll also be playing probably day 1, because I think it's funny. Day 1 Face Hunter. No one expects it. Probably climb quite a bit. Yeah, I probably won't play that for long. But yeah, I think it's 3 stars. I think it's good in only Face Hunter. Penslinger. This is a good card. However, I think it only sees play in Paladin because of all of the equality style effects and the Librams. I think it's a really good combo, and I think this is a major contender for why you would play Libram Paladin non-pure. Because this card is really good with equality style effects. The new legendary in Paladin Warrior. It's really good with that, and it's really good with Libram of Justice? Is it called Justice? I think it's Justice. Libram of Wisdom, Libram of Hope? Yeah, Libram of Justice. I think it's really good. I think people are sleeping on this card. I saw Crypt play it. He randomly generated it in his pure Libram Paladin, and he was like, "This card is good," because of how many times you could cycle it with the Librams. I think it's really good in only Libram Paladin, which I'll give it 4 stars. I don't think its scope is good enough for it to be 5 stars, but I think it's very good in Libram Paladin. Well, survival of the fittest. I am scared of this card. Deathly afraid, because that is a Blessing of Kings on everything you will ever play for the rest of the game, which is pretty good. And also all the minions on the board, which is probably the scariest part of it. I mean, for the past few expansions, there's been one deck that is just completely unbalanced, and it's unplayable to play it on day 1, like the Galakron Shaman and Demon Hunter. It was unplayable. The game was unplayable with those decks being so powerful, and I'm afraid that Survival of the Fittest will be the deck this time around. I hope it's not true, because it seems very gimmicky, and hopefully it will die to my Face Hunter that I'm playing on day 1, and these tempo rogues that people are building. Hopefully it gets outclassed, outmatched, outwitted. But I am deathly afraid of this card. Play it with Kel'Thas, give your Kel'Thas +4/+4 is insane tempo. Play it with anything. Play with, what is it, Cute Infestation or whatever? Oh, Adorable Infestation. Yikes. I'll give it 4 stars. I think it might be beat up by aggro decks, but if it's not, it's very, very powerful. Frazzled Freshman, I'm on a 1/4. If Tempo Priest is good, this card is good. Otherwise, I'm not so sure. 1-mana War 1/4 is very good. Priest seems to be getting all just, this is a good card, because Priest sucks. Hopefully the Tempo Priest works. They've been trying to make it work since Rise of Shadows. Probably even before that. Yeah, Tempo Priest without Divine Spirit and Inner Fire is their one condition. I don't know if it's going to work. This is unseen territory. I'm definitely going to play it. I've played my fair share of Tempo Priest. or Zoo Priest or whatever. And this will definitely see playing it. I don't know if Tempo Priest can be that good. They're definitely trying. But I think this card is a 4-star card. I think it's pretty good. I'm just giving everything 4 stars. Well, if it's a bad card, then, you know, that'll be wrong. But I don't think it's 5 stars, because I don't know if Tempo Priest is good. But it's definitely really good, if you are playing the Tempo Priest. Carrion Studies. Bad, 1 star. Cutting Class. Both of these classes have insane card draw already. So I don't know if this card sees play with the Battle Rages and the Secret Passages and the, you know, what have you. Might see play. Unlikely, though. Probably more likely in Rogue, because they have more weapon buffs. So I'll give it 2 stars for Warrior, 1 star for Warrior. And I'll give it 3 stars for Rogue. Raise Dead. This is an excellent card. 0 mana, draw 2. Hell yeah. 5-star card. He's playing like every Warlock or Priest deck for the rest of time. Bloated Python. Very similar to Kindly Grandmother. It's very similar to Kindly Grandmother. I think it's good. It curves into Houndmaster, which is good. Curves into Mok'Nathal Lion, which is good. Don't know if this Beast Hunter is going to work. I'm going to play it. I'm excited for that. But without the draw engine of the, what is it, Call to whatever, the 3 mana draw 3 beasts from Rastakhan's. I don't know without that if Beast Hunter is good enough. The, whatever her name is, the Hunter Druid Legendary. I don't know if she's good enough to make this beast deck work. But I think this is a good card in general. In Highlander Hunter, is it good enough in Highlander Hunter? I think so, because I think this might be a 5-star card. Because when you think about Kindly Grandmother, that was a 1/1 that summoned a 3/2 for 2. This is a 1/2 that summons a 4/4 for 3. So it's better than Kindly Grandmother. It gets you more stats. It gets you a 4/4, which is overstatted, and it gets you a 1/2. Yes. I think it's a really good card, but I don't know if it'll see enough play because I don't know how good Hunter is going to be. At least this Beast Hunter. I don't know if it even sees play as in Highlander Hunter because they're keeping their Beast pool pure for the Scavenger's Ingenuity, but I think for the meta, this is a 4-star card, but in my heart it's a 5-star card. And this card is very good, I just don't know if this meta is right for it. I want it to be a 5-star card. I think it is a 5-star card, but in this, I don't think the Hunter Knight's good enough without a draw engine. So it's a 4-star card. Sorcerer's Substitute. I didn't think this card was any good at all. It was dog shit. Because playing spell damage minions, you want to play the spell damage minion on the same turn as the spell. As I said before. And this is 6 mana, so it's a tempo card for 6 mana that you have to spend more than 6 mana on, which is bad. So, doesn't see play in Tempo Mage, I don't think, at all. 1-star card for Mage, but for Shaman, they have a weapon. It's a 2 mana 1/3 weapon. It's when you attack, gets spell damage +1. Now that makes this card a lot better. You can play it on 6. You don't have to use a card for it. You only have to use 1 charge of your weapon. I don't know if Spell Damage Shaman is going to be a thing, since they seem to be printing a lot of Control Shaman cards. But I think in the future, if Spell Damage Shaman gets some more support, this card can be very powerful in that deck. But for right now, I think this is a 1-star card. 1.5 stars. I think it's maybe a 2-star card, but I think it's 1.5 stars. Fell Guardians. Tempo Demon Hunter does not work. This just does not have enough impact. It's like Corridor Creeper, but instead of a 5/5, you get 3/1/2 demons, which is, what is it, 3/6 with taunt. It's not what you want to be doing in an aggressive deck. Yeah, bad card, 1-star. Powered Feast. Pretty good in tempo. Tempo Priest. I think Tempo Priest will work to a moderate degree. So I think this is a 2-star card. I mean, I have a 4-star card. Deskimp, it's Wisp. It just makes the Warlock Galakron a bit worse. Wormweaver. I don't think the Zoo Warlocks of the world are going to be running Wisp for the combo with the new Warlock Priest Legendary. Wormweaver. This card's a bit counterintuitive because in Tempo Mage you do not really want to be playing this card because it's basically 6-mana card. 2-mana worms. I mean, when you're getting a 6-mana, they're having board clears. You know, you've just basically decided the game by turn 6. I'm thinking of a Tempo Mage where you run the Lore Keeper and then a bunch of 5-mana cards, so that you can always play this on curve. But this isn't a very good card to play on curve, so I don't know if that's going to be that good. Because you want to spell burst it on the turn you play it, or it might be killed. I think this is a 3-star, maybe 2.5-star card. It has a chance, but I don't think it's that big of a chance. School Spirits, Volcanic Potion, and heal for 4 eventually. I don't think this card is good. I don't think the Soul Fragment Warlock will work. I'll be very surprised if it does. This is, I think, the card that breaks the mid-rangey Warlock with Soul Fragments, because you do not want to be playing this in a tempo/mid-range deck. I don't think you'll play this in a control Warlock, just because the Dragon Package is so much better and it heals you for more, and you don't really care about 5-mana 7/8s or whatever it is. I think this is a 2-star card. I think Warlock already has better board clears. Arena card. Just, why would you run that? I mean, might see play in a Highlander deck, but I don't know. If Countess Ashmore was still in rotation, I'd like this card a lot more, because it's got Death Rattle and Rush, which are 2 of the things that she wants, but just no reason to run this. Oh, 1-star. Good in Arena, though. So there's the Rune Dagger I was talking about, which makes the 6-mana card real good. It's a good card, I just don't know if the Spell Damage Shaman will work. I think as an individual card, it might see play just without any spell damage synergies, just because of how consistent you can get the spell damage out, and play it with your Lightning Storms or what have you. I think this is a 5-star card. I'm going to go out on a limb. This is very good. Spell damage, the weakness of spell damage is that your opponent just kills your spell damage minions. And I think this thoroughly makes it much stronger, since you can very consistently get it. Lab Partner, 1 mana 1/3 spell damage +1. Yep. incredible card. 5 stars. It's a 5-star card in and of itself. I'm going to rate these cards not as a package, but as a card in itself. Because I don't know if this sees play because of the meta, but I think it's a very good card. I don't know if this sees play in because Tempo Mage, you know, Alunath's gone, Luna's gone. There's that new card, but I don't think it's very good. We'll probably see it later. The new 2-mana draw 1 card increased by spell damage. I don't think that's very good. So it's a 5-star card, but it's a bit like Frazzled Freshman. It's a 5-star card, but will the deck work out? I don't know. It's definitely, these two are definitely on the higher power level of their decks. These spell damage decks. I think they're 5-star cards in their truest, purest form, but in the meta, I think they're probably 3 stars. Playmaker. It's a control card, but do you really want to be summoning a copy with 1 health, or do you want to just play another removal, you know? Good with Restless Mummy, but why would you not just play the other Reckless Mummy, you know? It's like a weird, you know, 3 mana 4/3 that's like a tempo, but you don't want to play this on curve because it's so easy to kill because of its low health. I'll say this is 1 star. I don't think this sees any play anytime. This will get faster, by the way, as I review it. Gibbling. How many spells are Token Druid running? I don't think that many. I think if you're running a lot of spells, you'll want to run Fungal Fortunes, which means you wouldn't want to run a card that is sometimes Alley Cat. And sometimes a little bit more. But I do think it's decent. I don't think it's a meme. Like old, whatever, the Gibberling in Kobold and Catacombs was called. Though I did play that card, because I was back when I was free to play. That card was funny. But how many spells are Spell Druid realistically gonna cast? And it doesn't seem that good, because if you're running this, then you're running Fungal Fortunes, then you're running a draw engine. Maybe you put this in a Fungal Fortunes deck anyway, but do you really want to run a 1-drop, such a low value 1-drop in that deck when you could run a different 1-drop? I think the card has a lot of issues. I think people see this card as like, oh, you could play on turn 1 then coin, then play Cute Infestation or Adorable Infestation, then you Lightning Bloom into Force of Nature or Power of the Wild, and then you get a lot of things in turn 1. But then you skip your next turn and you have no cards in hand the turn after. So I think this is a 2-star card. I think that it has a chance, but not a very large one. Brittle Destroyer. Yeah. I think this card sees a lot of play because it's a better... I mean, these are 2 classes with a lot of removal. So actually, I'm not sure if it sees play, because it is a good removal card. It's like 6 mana, take 2 damage, draw a card, destroy a minion, or 6 mana, restore 2 health to your hero, destroy a minion. But is that, better than a Shadow Word Death or a Siphoned Soul? I don't think so. There's a possibility it sees play in Tempo Priest. Looking at Flick Sky Shiv, seeing play in Tempo Rogues. but I don't think so. I think Flick is in a class with very little removal, and Brittle Bone Destroyer is in two classes with quite a lot of removal. So I don't think this card's very good. Good synergy with Soul Fragments in Warlock, but I don't think that deck will work. I think they're just more powerful removal tools in the Dragon quest deck. I don't think the Soul Fragments go in the quest deck because of the bad synergy it has with the hero power when you complete it. You don't want a bunch of dead cards when you hero power and change it to 0, unless there's a weird interaction where it reduces to next. But I think we've seen it with bombs that it doesn't reduce it to 0. So I think it's a good card if it wasn't in two classes with probably the most amount of removal in the game. So, 2 stars. Initiation. Deal 4 damage to the minion. If he kills it, summon a new copy. It's a tempo card, but for 6 mana, I'm not so sure. Maybe he's playing a Highlander Priest. But it's like you don't really want to play a tempo card. I mean, there are situations where this is really good, especially if you're on board and you can take the trades that set something at 4 less health and then you steal it. But, I mean, so often, like, they're going to have nothing on the board, or they're going to have, like, a 1/1 on the board, or, you know, I think this card doesn't line up nearly as much as it whiffs. So I think this is a 1-star card. 2-star card, because it could see play in a Highlander Priest. Demonic Studies. There are a lot of bad neutral demons. There's the 2 ones that shuffle 3 things in your deck. There's the 2-mana 2/2 lifesteal one. There's a lot of bad demons. Don't think this sees any play unless they reverse the Discover changes that they made a while back, where they increased class cards. This is good if you increase the class cards. Actually, I don't know. There are a lot of bad Warlock demons too, so I don't think this ever sees play anywhere. 1 star. 1 Thief. This is an interesting one. It's another one of these 1-drops that you don't want to play on a turn 1, which makes it bad. But Combat of Our Mage spell is good. I don't think Thief Rogue has gotten enough support. We do see another Thief Rogue support card up here. And it is a secret, which means you could play Secret Thief Rogue with Hanar, and that's really good. Maybe that deck comes back. Secret Rogue has seen a good amount of play, but that's because of Galakron, and Galakron is no longer any good. So, because of the nerfs. 1 Thief. Like, is this something you really want to be doing? Is it high enough tempo? As a 1-drop, it's kind of a value card, which, you know, I don't know if a 1-mana value card is good enough. I mean, we've definitely seen it with the lackeys, but that's because you're playing a card that gets some amount of value and then gets a lackey. Well, definitely doesn't see play in the hyper aggro rogue deck, which I think would be much better than a mid-rangey one. I think this card is a 3-star card. I don't think it sees that much play. I don't think it's as good as people hyped it up to be. And in Mage, you just either run the spell you want, or you run Magic Trick, because it has better synergies with the Mana Cyclones or Antoniduses or what have you. So I don't think this card is very good. Maybe I even lower it to 2 stars, and I'm bold. Primordial Studies. Nah, a lot of bad ones. A lot of bad, you know, Cobalt Geomancers of the world. You do discount them by 1, but I don't think that's good enough. I don't think the spell damage decks are good enough. And it's a 1-star card. I will try to make a Highlander Tempo Mage deck. I made one of those during Descent of Dragons, and it was cool. It was decent, you know, not tier 1 or nothing, but you know, this might go anyway. Tempo Highlander Mage. Man, that is annoying that it's in the wrong order. Like, that's a Shaman, that's Mage, but it's Mage Shaman. Anyway, Shadowlight Scholar. I don't think Warlock Soul Fragments are good. 2 stars, just like the other cards. Plagiarize. Value Rogue card. Don't think Value Rogue will work ever, so I mean, your opponent can just play bad cards, you know? Just, you know, delay playing a card that you would like for a turn. It's important to exist because of Hanar, but I don't know if Secret Rogues see any play anymore now that there is the hyper-aggressive, you know, Secret Passage Rogue. So this is a 2-star card. Intrepid Initiate. I mean, yeah. If you're running a lot of cheap spells and you're a tempo deck, so Libram Paladins, aggressive Paladins might run this. Another reason not to go pure. Rogues might play this, but they would probably have to run, like, I don't know, because there's only really Backstab that they combo with this. I think perhaps Priest, because of all the buff spells they have now. But I don't know if it gets there. It's just, it's very dependent on having a spell, and even if you do have a spell, it's only a 1-mana 1/3, or 3/1, or 3/2, which is good, but it's Bloodfin Raptor for 1 less mana. Is that, you know, is that something you're gonna build a deck around? No. I think it's 3 stars. Maybe 2.5 stars. Divine Rager. I'm not gonna rate this one. Self-sharpening Sword. I think this card is very scary. I think high durability weapons are very good, especially with the buffs that rogues have. I think this card is very good. I think this might be a 5-star card. I think this card is very scary. Very scary to Greenskin, very scary to the new Warrior Rogue Legendary, like Karstanov or something. Give it +1/+1. Giving it, even deadly poisoning it, makes it a better Assassin's Blade. I think this card is very scary. I think high durability weapons like this are very scary in classes that can buff their weapons. Have we ever seen a card with this much durability in Rogue before? Other than the Assassin's Blade? I don't know. But I think this might be a 5-star card because of how good Tempo Rogue I think is going to be if you build it correctly. And I think this goes right in that. Because it's going to want to buff its weapons. And this can get very big. Especially if you can attack twice with Karstanov or Shadow Step your Greenskins or what have you. Spirit Jailer, 1-mana 1/3. Shuffle 2 Soul Fragments. Alright, sees play in every Soul Fragment deck. Interesting effect of this card. You cannot play Big Demon Demon Hunter with Soul Fragments because of this card. I think the Demon tag is actually a downside in the big Demon Hunters. Maybe a good combo with Philosophy, but I don't think that card's very good. I think it's good in Demon Hunter. Again, don't think Warlock Soul Fragment's very good. 4 stars. Partner assignment, no only new card here. Is that the same girl? No, I think it's different. God, I wish that was a spider. 1 mana, add a random 2 cost and 3 cost beast to your hand. I think it sees play in Token Spell Druid, which is a deck that people don't really play, but I play. Where you don't run any minions, or you only run Garden Gnome and the 2 mana 2/3 that gives you each choice of the choose ones. And I think it's good in that deck, but is that deck very good? No. Is adding on average, like the 2 cost and 3 cost beasts, there aren't very many low rolls, but there also aren't any high rolls. The 2 cost beasts are pretty good. And 3 cost beasts are less good on average. I don't think this is a very good card. 2 stars. I just don't know why you'd run that. Druid already has enough card draw. Firebrand. I think people have got this card wrong. I think people think that it's a Tempo Mage card. I think that this is a Control Mage card, because dealing 4 damage, if you're running any sort of cheap spells, you know, your what do they have? The 2 mana deal to discover a spell if you're holding a dragon. You play that, play this. Maybe, I mean, in Tempo Mage, it's good, but only if they're on the board a lot, and they're not always going to be on the board. It is just a 3 mana 3/4 if they aren't, but I think you'd rather run spells than have maybe deal 4 damage, which could have a big impact or could not. If you draw this late in the game, it's a lot worse. But I think it has the potential to be very good if you play it on 4 with a magic trick. And you've already been sort of keeping up tempo. Very powerful. But is Tempo Mage going to be that good? I don't think so. Is Highlander Mage going to run this? I don't think they run enough cheap spells. I think it's a good card, but I don't think it's consistent. You're consistently a good matchup for it. I think it's 3.5 stars. I think it's good. I think by itself it's good, but I don't know if the meta... I think by itself it's a 5-star, 4.5-star card. But I think because of the meta, because of you know, the dual paladins and the big warriors where this card whiffs, I think when you draw this late and it's completely useless, I think that has a lot of problems. It's a very good tempo card, but you know, you aren't always going to have this on tempo, and you aren't always going to be against a board-based deck, and you aren't going to be a board-based deck that has 4 or less health, or around 4 health. You know, it might be a priest who has a lot of health, or something else. I think it's very good against the stealth rogue, because, you know, I think that boosted up to 4 stars, just because it's so good against stealth rogue, because of how little health those minions have, and the fact that they can't be targeted, but this can target them. 3.5. I'll go back to 3.5 stars. Diligent Note Taker. Please play in... I'm thinking. Doesn't see play in Token Shaman. It is a 2-mana 2/3. And you can play it on the same turn you play your Totemic Mites, Totemic whatever the other one was. Do you play it in that deck? I mean, it's pretty good with exactly those cards. It probably sees play in a control. You know, you play it with Farsight, you play with a Lightning Storm, a Hex. I think it's good. I just don't know if Shaman decks are going to be good. If it's going to be good in Token Shaman, or Totem Shaman, which, you know, could be good. I think it got quite a few tools, this expansion, but, you know, will it stand up? Will it be consistent enough in drawing the cards that it needs to be powerful? Will it be able to stick on the board? I think this is a 4-star card in my heart, but it's a 3-star card due to the meta. True Aim Crescent. After your hero attacks a minion, your minions attack it too. So this is an interesting... I don't think this sees play in Demon Hunter, because you want to play your Fellwing on 2, and you can't with this card. I think it's just too clunky. I think you really want to be just equipping, using weapons, unequipping weapons, you know, breaking your weapons, equipping new weapons, and I think this has too much durability for Demon Hunter. I think Hunter, it's a bit better. Could see play in the Death Rattle deck, where you want to activate your Death Rattles quick. I put it in my Face Hunter, because you can play it on the turn you activate the side quest that summons 3 Leper Gnomes, and then you can attack a minion and deal the 3 immediately, or deal the 6 immediately. And also you can go face and then attack something, so you can trade and face on the same turn, which I think is a very powerful tool for Face Hunter. So I think it's a lot better in Hunter than it is in Demon Hunter. In Demon Hunter, I think it's 2 stars. In Hunter, I think it's 4 stars. Maybe 3, because I don't know if it guarantees going there. Yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. Legendary. Polkelt. This is probably one of my favorite cards of all time. I'm probably going to craft him golden. So this is actually kind of a waste. But I love this card. Every deck I build, I'm going to be like, should I pick Polkelt? Yeah, Polkelt. Should I build this deck around Polkelt? I love this card. It's 5 stars in my heart. I don't know if it's good. If it's good in Highlander decks. Like, Highlander decks would love to run this, but it means you guaranteed don't draw your Zephyrus, which is really bad. You could run this in aggressive decks, and run some Burn as your biggest card, which could be interesting. It's an interesting concept, but I don't think there's a lot of Burn on 5 that you could run. There's an interesting Polkelt Tempo Mage, the one I built, where you run a bunch of 5-drops. You run, another one is you run Antonidas, another one is you run Pyroblast. I think the problem with those decks is Antonidas, you guaranteed aren't going to draw your cheap, Magic Tricks, Ray of Frost. You guaranteed aren't going to draw them in combination with your Antonidas, since it's not expensive. And so you'd have to keep them in your hand, which you really want to be keeping cards in your hand as a tempo deck. And Pyroblast, I think Pyroblast comes down too late. I think if you've gotten to turn 10, you've lost. And I think there's too much healing in the meta right now. Too much healing and armor. I don't think it's good enough. Running this in a combo deck Malagos deck, but that means you're guaranteed aren't going to draw your burn spells if you draw Malagos guaranteed next turn, because you guaranteed aren't going to draw your Moonfires or your Nether Breaths or your Soulfires. I think this card has a lot of issues that prevent it from being good, but I really want it to be good. Realistically, I think it's 3 stars. Just I don't know what deck this goes in. I've tried. I've definitely tried, but highest cost to lowest cost is kind of counterintuitive. I will definitely try out this card, and if this card is ever good, I will play the shit out of that deck. That is good in. I've also put in my Tempo Priest, but I think also Leroy died for this card. I think that, being able to play this on 4 and then Leroy on 5 was too powerful, and that's part of the reason why they Hall of Famed him. My boy Leroy. I think this card has a lot of potential, but I just don't see it right now. Couple new cards here. Mage Hunter. Just run Consume Magic. I don't know. There's just no reason to run this. Consume Magic is already a pretty good card. I guess this has the potential to silence 2 things, but your opponent's always going to remove it if they care about things being silenced. So it's 3 mana, silence something, and deal 2 damage to it, which is not good. So this probably doesn't see any play anywhere. I think this is 1 star. Sneakily Delinquent. This is a Stealth Rogue card. Is Stealth Rogue going to be good? I think so, because of Secret Passage and the Tempo Rogue cards that have come out. Is this good enough? Yes, but it's not very tempo-y for that deck. I think that deck wants to dump its hand and then draw 5 with Secret Passage. I don't think that fits this game. This fits that game plan. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think it definitely could or should see play in Stealth Rogue, but I don't know if it's aggressive enough. Anime Broomstick. Again, 1 drops that have ability that you don't want to play on 1 are bad. So this is bad. I don't know what deck you would run this in. Magic Carpet's just better. Yeah, this card's too low value, I think. I think this is a 1-star card. Plague Proto Drake. Well, it's a really good thing to give Taunt and Divine Shield to, or have it die in a duel. It's obviously one of these big cards that you want to cheat out in Paladin, or you want to have value with in Warrior. That card's probably not too good, but I'm definitely going to play it. I think this card is 2 stars. I don't think it sees play anywhere outside of that. Just because big guy just doesn't really, doesn't really serve any purpose in Hearthstone right now, other than dual Paladin and stuff. I think, with the Draconic Lackeys and the Discovering Dragons and adding dragons to your hands card, I think this card is definitely something to look out for. I think it's not bad. It's definitely it's good in Arena, because it's just sticky, and 7-cost minions are pretty good. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars, which is very high for what seems like a filler card. I'll give it 2 stars. It's a dual Paladin card, and that's never been a good deck. Athletic studies. Discover rush minion. Your next one costs one less. No thank you. A lot of bad rush cards. Valfiend Trainer. This is a filler card for Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter's gotta have... Oh yeah, this is 1 star. This is also 1 star. I guess Demon Hunter has to have some bad cards, so... I mean, it's a 4 mana 4/7, but... Or, fucking, what? 7/6. But 2 of them are 1/1s, which are super easy to remove. You have to outcast it. Yeah, it just... I don't think this has any potential. It's not even a good token Demon Hunter card because it summons a 5/4, and you'd rather summon a bunch of... You'd rather play, you know, the one that summons 3 with Rush, 3/1/1s with Rush. You'd rather just play those cards, those style cards, and not this card. I don't think this will ever see play 1 star. Potion of Illusion. This is a combo card. People have tried the Exodia Mage, but I think with the Rogues about and the Druids about, that deck is fucked. So, in Rogue, I don't know why you would run this. You just run Shadow Step if you care about Battle Cries. I think it's too inconsistent. It costs too much. 1 star. Glide. This one's very interesting. Does the very aggressive Tempo Demon Hunter run this instead of Skull of Gul'dan? Because Skull of Gul'dan is best when it can discount for 9, but it doesn't always discount for 9. And this is 4 mana draw 4 in that deck a lot of the time. And it's 4 mana draw 4, give your opponent a lot less answers. I think this card could replace Skull of Gul'dan in those incredibly aggressive Demon Hunter, traditional Tempo Demon Hunter decks. Since they don't get a ton of value off of Skull of Gul'dan, I think Skull of Gul'dan will still be run in the mid-range Tempo Demon Hunter that I'm going to play, but no one else plays. But, oh yeah, Skull of Gul'dan has bad synergy with Soul Fragments, doesn't it? That's a shame. Well, this card has the potential to replace Skull of Gul'dan, and if it's got the potential to replace that card, this is a really good card. I think it's 5 stars. 4 stars. It's really good in exactly hyper-aggressive Demon Hunter, which, you know, may or may not work with the new Voracious Reader, which you still haven't gotten. A couple new cards here. We've already reviewed that one. All of these look the same. Draconic Studies. Maybe. There are a lot of... The dragon pool is very high in value. Highlander Priest will probably run this. But I think that's about it. There's no Dragon Priest right now. Since Chrono Breaker is so bad. And Breath of the Infinite just isn't good enough. So I think it has a good amount. It has a good chance of seeing play in only Highlander Priest. So 2 stars. Maybe 3 stars. 2.5 stars. Blood Herald. Another Tempo Demon Hunter card. This time it's also in Hunter. Yeah. No. I mean, it's good in Quest Hunter. It's good in Token Demon Hunter. Neither of those decks are good. So, this card isn't even good in those decks. It's like a payoff card, but they already have enough payoff cards. In form of the Quest and in form of the you know, Nephrodamus or whatever. So, I don't think this card's good enough. It's like Sea Giant, but, you know, always costs 5 mana. Yeah, this card is not good. 1 star. Twilight Runner. This card is what will make the Druid deck, the Guardian Animals Druid deck, which is probably the Survival of the Fittest deck. This card is very good. Goes in every Druid deck that wants to run minions, like that isn't specifically not running minions for Fungal Fortunes. It's Panther that draws 2 cards. Yeah. Most of the time it draws 4 cards. Well, some of the time it draws 4 cards. If this was in any class other than Druid, it would be incredibly overpowered. However, Druid is the card draw king right now. It is not hurting for card draw in the slightest. Isn't this a magic card? It's like a 5-mana 4/5, but it only draws 1 card. Yeah, this card is very good. It's a 5-star card, but is the Druid deck going to be good enough? So I think it's 4 stars. Double jump. I mean, I just don't see the point, you know? You'd rather just run a good card. I mean, the Outcast cards right now are like only Skull of Gul'dan. So... It's also, I think, you don't want to play this on 1 because you want to play the Outcast card immediately, and a 1-mana card you don't want to play on turn 1 is bad. So I think this card is bad. 2 stars. Cult Neophyte. Meh. Loatheb, but 1/5 less effective. No. 1 star. Crimson Hothead. Could see play in the Dragon Druid deck. Or Highlander Priest. But... it's not that much better than Sen'jin Shieldmaster. And